Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And this weekend, I am here on Virgin Voyage's Scarlet Lady. Now, this is my second trip on Virgin Voyages, and I am very pleased to be back. And so before I came on this sailing, I posted over in the community tab up top of the YouTube channel, what questions did you all have? What do you want to know about Virgin Voyages and the Scarlet Lady? And so I wanted to go through some of the frequently asked questions, the things that popped up the most, and let you know my off-the-cuff response so that you'll feel more comfortable about what this is. Some of these I even had to research so that I could make this video. But the first one is, what's the entertainment like on board? And so the entertainment on a Virgin Voyages sailing is going to be very different than if you've been on another cruise line. So if you've gone on another cruise line, come here with an open mind on what is possible. It's not that Virgin is doing it wrong, they're just taking a different approach to how their entertainment is. So one of the examples that, I thought of was they're still singing some of the same songs that I'd hear on a Royal Caribbean ship. Some of those songs that, I give Royal a hard time for because they've been playing them for years. But here they're singing some of those songs, but they're putting a new twist to it or making it feel fresh somehow. They are taking a different approach to how people dance in their shows. They're not doing the classic singer and dancer productions, but they're having more hip hop, more modern styles of dance, which is really refreshing. They've got a circus show. They've got all sorts of guitar instruments that are being played in and around the ship, from jazz music all the way up to some electronic kind of stuff. There's all sorts of different styles of entertainment here. They've even got a drag show on board. And so that drag show is even a game show. It is a bingo. I mean, that diva does a lot of different things. And it was honestly, so far, one of the best shows, most hilarious shows that I've been to on this sailing. The second question that I get asked a lot is the ship really, really loud? So they've got all this great entertainment going on. Am I walking into a ship that is just blaring music in my face every time I turn around? And the answer to that is no. It definitely is louder in some areas, I have found. So if you were in the roundabout section, that is like a two-story centrum, if you will. And that is where the loudest area is going to be for me. When you are coming into the ship on embarkation day, they're going to have a DJ there beside of their vinyl shop playing music. And so yeah, it's a little bit loud when you walk in, but it's normally loud on a cruise ship for embarkation when you walk on. The rest of the cruise though, I didn't really have an issue with it. If you're on the lower level of the roundabout, you're going to hear the music a little bit louder, which I think is normal for music venues. But if you want some quieter music, you can go upstairs to that second level. You're not going to be able to see the performer downstairs, but they do still pipe the music into the speakers up there so you can still hear it, but it's at a lower tone. The shows when I went there, I noticed maybe one of them felt a little bit louder, but it wasn't anything that bothered me. And I know that this is completely personal preference, but to me, the shows have not been over the top loud. They've been slightly louder than what I'm accustomed to, but nothing fancy. The rest of the time while walking around the ship, you don't really hear a lot of music. Oh, the other place, you're going to hear music on the pool deck. So the pool deck turns into a bit of a day club. And so they do have the DJ up there spinning as well, playing music. And so that can be a little bit loud as well. The third question I get is, what do I need to pack for a Virgin Voyage trip? And this is something that I wish that I would have remembered myself. The first item you want to make sure that you're going to bring on a Virgin trip is you're going to pack your pajamas. So bring your PJs. So a lot of people here are wearing a lot of silk PJs, really nice pajamas. You'll see some robes out there, but people have really gone all out with this. And there's even a dance party in all of your pajamas on the second night, I believe it is, on this sailing. The second thing you're going to want to make sure that you bring, and I didn't do this either because I'm clearly just a slacker. You want to make sure that you bring a red outfit, a fancy red outfit, not just a red t-shirt per se. You can get away with that. But if you want to go fancy for Scarlet Night here on Virgin Voyages, bring something red so that you fit in. It is really, really awesome to see everybody wearing red shirts, red dresses, red cocktail dresses, red pants. I mean, people go all out for this, and it is a really good time. The fourth thing that I get asked all the time, and this one has really surprised me on how often I get asked this question, is Virgin Voyages for swingers? Is it a swingers cruise? And me personally, I haven't noticed that it's a swingers cruise. I'm not really paying attention to what everybody else is doing when they're at the bar, when they're mixing and mingling. And nobody has personally approached me and said, hey, you wanna... that has not happened to me. Maybe that's something with me, I don't know. But I haven't seen other people doing it. But it definitely has a reputation somehow for being a swingers cruise. In analyzing this one, I think that it's because of the all-inclusive Caribbean resorts that are 18 plus that have kind of marketed towards, the ability to kind of do what you want to on vacation. And so I think that Virgin gets kind of in their umbrella a little bit since it is 18 plus, but I personally have not experienced that here. The fifth thing that I get asked a lot is how do you get into restaurants? So here on Virgin Voyages, there is not a main dining room. So if you've been on other cruise lines before, you all sit in one location, 2 stores, 3 stores, or maybe it's just one big place and they have multiple dining rooms. That doesn't exist here on Virgin Voyages. So they have much smaller niche restaurants that you can go to every night. And so what I would encourage you to first do is when you get your boarding pass, download the app. So you're going to download the Virgin Voyages Sailors app, and that way you can make reservations to the restaurants you want to go to. So I personally take the approach that I want to go to the wake on the first night. That's always my first go-to place. And from there I can kind of rotate it, but I do different restaurants every single night so that I get a good variety. There's some restaurants that are definitely better than others, and so I think that maybe I'll go back twice. But at this point, make sure that you make those reservations. If you do not have a reservation, on this sailing, the first night I'll say there was a little bit of a line, but I felt like it moved quick. Last night I had a reservation for 9:30 and I walked up a little bit early. I think it was like 8 o'clock and said, hey, could you do me a solid? And they were able to accommodate that. I was able to get in much earlier, but I don't think that that can happen all the time. It really just depends on the sailing and when people are showing up. But do make the reservation in advance. That will help with that. But then when things change, you do have the ability to try and get in earlier. Doesn't mean they're going to be able to help you out, but if you have the reservation, you don't have to worry about it. The sixth thing that I got asked was, how about coffee from a barista? Where can I get that from? How early and how late can I get that? Now, if you want a barista here on the ship, there are 2 places that you can go to. The main one is going to be on Deck 7, Grounds Coffee, and that's going to be open from 7 in the morning until 8 in the evening. From there, you're going to be able to go over to the Sip Bar, which is going to be open until 12. That's their champagne high-end bar, if you will, that also has an espresso machine, and they can make something until midnight, though there's not anything that starts before 7 in the morning. There's also another barista up on Deck 15 in the marketplace. So as soon as you go into their Windjammer equivalent or their food gallery, that's where you're going to find the 3rd barista. Breakfast options on board the ship. So this ship has really good breakfast options. The first and my personal favorite is going to be Razzle Dazzle. So this is the vegetarian forward restaurant, but everything can be customized to be non-vegetarian. So if you wanted to add eggs or you wanted to add bacon, they have all that there. They can add it. It just kind of flips the conversation a little bit. But it is my favorite breakfast spot on board. The second place that's going to offer breakfast is going to be the Wake. So if you want a more fancy breakfast, so think Eggs Benedict. I had the soft shell crab Benedict earlier today. Think those kind of things, and that's what you're going to have there. It's a higher end brunch. They also have an unlimited brunch option if you want to do that for, I think it was like $25 that was on the menu. The other thing, if you are a breakfast person, they actually have all-day breakfast up in the marketplace. So if you ever want eggs, bacon, pancakes, whatever it is, they are always going to be serving that up in the marketplace, and you can head up there whenever it's open. Question number 8. They don't have a lot of stateroom categories here on Virgin Voyages. So the main one is going to be, do you want a balcony or do you want an extra large balcony? And is it worth it, that price difference that you're going to have to pay? Now, I haven't researched what this price is, but it normally is several $100s. The biggest difference between these two is just, it's a bigger bathroom. So if you want to check out the 2 different room tours that I've done, I have one XL and I'm going to have one normal balcony here. They're the same size inside. The only difference is you get a bigger bathroom area in the XL version. And so that's something that you have to decide if that's worth it to you. If you love having a big bathroom, being able to move around is something that's important to you in there, you may want to pay that extra money to get up to the XL version. But if you're like me, traveling by yourself and you can get in the bathroom with no issues, you don't really need to spend the money. Number 9, somebody wants to know, what is the temperature of the pools here? So I don't normally do the pools and the hot tub, but this has been a cruise where I have intentionally forced myself to relax. Now during the day, as I mentioned before, I did not go up there because it was a little too lively for me at that point. But what I did do was I went up at 7 o'clock one night. So that was the night that I had very late dinner reservation. And I went to the pool deck at 7 o'clock when it was quiet. There was only a couple of people out there. I was able to get into the hot tub, which was a really good temperature. I think I stayed in there maybe 15, 20 minutes the first time before I got too warm. And then I transferred over to the smaller pool, the circular pool, directly beside of it, which was also pretty warm. So it is a heated pool, so it was not cold. It felt good. And then I got up, went back to the hot tub, which got me a lot hotter very quick that time. And then I walked over to the main pool. This is probably 7:45 at night. And it was actually pretty warm as well. It is a heated pool, so it is not chilly at all. So it is a really good time. And the 10th and probably the biggest question I get, people want to know about the pool deck experience overall. So when you're thinking about Virgin Voyages, a lot of people talk about their pool, and honestly, it's not really the best pool environment. As I mentioned, it's a bit of a day club, but I have made a whole different video just really walking you through what the day club and the pool looks like, the pluses and the minuses to it. There's a lot more minuses, but you can check out that video here in the last section. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser. Hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon.